coffee. He wore me down, guys. He beat me down. I'm not even gonna lie. This man said, "It's me and you until you accept me in this ring." It's crazy. It's crazy to turn around. Hi people, welcome back. If it's your first time, my name is Tyler Adiwali and this is Despite Them. Today we're doing the review of His Man Season 2, Episode 2. Be sure to do all the right things and follow on Patreon. Check out Patreon. There are highlights of the reaction video of all the episodes up until episode 9 or so. And the full reactions for members who are signed up on Patreon. But yeah, let's get into it because this one is my favorite of the seasons that are out available right now. And I don't know, I fell in love with this one and I don't know what to tell you people. So the episode continues with Jun Sung calling Sung Ho, and he kind of just fell for his roommate like right at the beginning, man. And honestly, he wasn't my favorite, not at this point. And even in episode 3 and 4, I don't really think that he like robbed. Well, no, I can't really say that. I don't really think that he was my favorite. Song Ho is my baby. If you don't know, you know now. He is my absolute favorite person on the entire show, season 2 and 3 that I've seen, and I will root for him no matter what happens. If you hear sounds, the house is still alive, so it is what it is. We're just pushing through. After the call, he goes back to the room, and it's not actually that awkward. They laugh and they joke about it. I mean, I don't think that Song Ho understood how much Jun Sung liked him at this point because he's like, "Why are you calling me? We're polar opposites. There's no way we should be attracted to each other." I feel like that's where Song Ho was coming from. He's like, "You're my opposite. You'd make a good friend, but I don't necessarily think that you will make a good partner." And that was where he was at this point. So Song Ho is confused and he doesn't know who to choose. But he also says, after the phone call with Jun Sung, he also says that Jun Sung is like a friend, and the love to friendship ratio right now is 0% for love. Oh, to 100% friendship. I mean, some of the best love stories do start with friendship. So I just fell for Jung Sung in this moment. In that one-on-one interview when Song Ho said that, I just felt more for Jung Sung because you can already tell that Jung Sung likes Song Ho extremely more than Song Ho could possibly even like anybody at this point. Anywho, Sonyu said that he was no. Song Ho also went on to say that he was sad that Sonu didn't call him. I can't remember. Right. Guys, I'm on episode 9 or something like that in the season. So I've gone way beyond all this, preliminary love triangle and tension that was going on. But in this episode, Sonu had just called Junsung, right? Yes, because in the beginning, Sonu was all about Junsung, and then I'm not really sure where the switch happened, but the switch does happen. I forgot that. Okay. So John Wook was expecting a call from Min Sung, but he is both like relieved and sad that he didn't get a call from Min Sung. I honestly can't remember who Min Sung called. That was in episode 1, so we're way past that, guys. Like, I'm watching episode 2 and 3 at the same time, so even this alone is like tasking my memory to no end. Sonu is still on Junsong and is trying. He said that he will still try to get to know him better, or even more. Junsong never even. I don't think he ever gave Sonu the time of day. Much less like I don't think they ever went out on a date. At least not at the episodes that I watched. They've never gone on a date. Yeah, he never even looked in Sonu's direction, if I'm being honest. Not that I've noticed. Anyways, John Wook had a chat with Young Hee, and he kind of develops a crush on Young Hee. Young Hee says that he saw sides to John Wook that he likes and wouldn't mind getting to know him better. But ultimately, Young Hee is attracted to Sonu. I'm not really sure what that is about. But the way Young Hee is confident for a 21-year-old, this boy impresses me to no end. That kind of confidence, it, I don't even think you can fake it to make it. the way he is confident, I just love it. And I love the way he carries himself and the way he has carried himself even up to the episodes that I have seen. I absolutely adore this boy, and he's my second baby on the show. At the table, the men discuss how short 30 seconds is for a phone call, and they go back and forth, trying to ease the tension and the awkwardness now that everybody has kind of expressed to the person that they like, and everybody kind of knows where interests lie. They're just chit chatting and trying to ease the tension regardless. The next day, Song Ho and Sun Woo get ready. They get ready together. Song Ho goes to Sun Woo's room because Sun Woo has the single room, right? So he goes in there and says, "Can I get ready here?" And they get ready together. Their new mission cards on the table. I don't understand why they're called missions. I guess because there are tasks on them and they have to go and complete the tasks. But for me, it's not a mission. That has nothing to do with anything. I just didn't understand why they're called mission. Anyways, there are mission cards on the tables, and it's the arrow cards and the heart cards. So the people who get the heart cards will have to be asked out by the people who get the arrow cards. So only arrow people can ask out heart people. That's basically the translation. So Nu and Song Ho are first to grab their cards, and then everybody else follows. The people with arrows are Young Hee, Song Ho, and Jun Song, which is kind of sad because Jun Song could not go out with Song Ho, and vice versa because they both had arrow cards. The other guys had hearts, so Sonu, John Wook, and Min Song. They're all at the table having breakfast, and they suddenly decide that they needed to choose. They had an hour, I guess, to decide. So maybe time was winding down, and they just wanted to do it. So they all kind of decide right there and then. Song Ho asked Sun Woo out, and Young Hee was sad about it. And I'm like, you were all sitting at the table. If you wanted to ask this guy out, use that confidence, man. I don't think he knew that Sonu was as popular as he was. And so I'm not really sure what the hesitation was, but he was taking his sweet time. Like they're not on a dating show to find love, and all of them are not dating each other. I felt sad for him, but I was also like, you snooze, you lose. Song Ho passed him the pointed at him and said, "We're going out," and Sonu said yes. Jun Song also wasn't happy about it, but he had an arrow card, so at least he had more of a legitimate reason not to be able to ask out on Song Ho, right? Like he could not. He was banned from asking the guy out. But Young Hee just sat there and didn't do anything, and then was sad when the guy that he liked got asked out. Young Hee ended up asking out John Wook, and then Jun Song and Min Song were default. They were the default couple because they were the ones left. There's really no romance between them, so I knew that it was going to be a friendship date. Jun Song talks to Song Ho when they were in the room, and then he asks Song Ho why he chose Sun Woo. Song Ho says he has a soft spot for Sun Woo, and and then they just start talking about other things, and he helps Jun Sung with his makeup. I thought that was a sweet moment, honestly. Like, I had a lot of commentary on the Patreon reaction, so if you guys want to check that out, it's actually it's cool. If you don't, it's fine. This kind of explains my mindset regardless. Meanwhile, the guys are downstairs speculating about the roommates relationship because apparently Song Ho and Jun Sung have been talking for a while in the bedroom. And then they decide, I think Jung Wook was like, "Oh, I've never seen their room." And then Sonu was like, "Oh, let's go see it." Now, two things. Jung-uk was innocent in this situation. He just barely made a statement. And Sono latched onto it. He was the guilty one because he wanted to go and see what was going on in the room. He wanted to interrupt whatever it was that was going on. So they do eventually go to the room and whatever. It was fine. We move on. And then there's a new guy a lot, and my reaction to him was it was a little lot. I'm not gonna lie. But we're introduced to Hyung Jin, and he was given action movie star, man. I loved it. I really did. He came in, shoulders broad, head high, slick back black hair. I loved it. I will not lie. He gets to choose slash steal a date. His choice is priority. It doesn't matter who is already assigned to whom. He is stealing that person point blank, period. He decides to pick Sonu, and they are off into the sunset. Unfortunately, the guy whose date gets picked will be left at home. Now, Junsung is happy and both sad about this. He was happy because he didn't want Sonu and Songho to have a date, obviously. But he feels bad because Songho is going to be staying at home alone. In fact, he hesitates and doesn't want to leave because Songho was at home. I thought that that was actually sweet. This man he crept into my heart. I'm not even gonna lie. I did not like Junsung in the beginning. I did not. I didn't like how abrasive he was. I didn't like how he spoke to everybody. I didn't like the high-handedness with which he approached situations. He was relatively passively actively catty at some point, and I didn't like it. I thought he was abrasive and I didn't want that for my baby. However, as the season has gone on, right up to episode 9, people that I have seen, the way and the consistency with which he has loved on Song Ho, it is unmatched. And it's like this. It's a mama bear thing, right? Because I've loosely adopted Song Ho as my own. I am very much invested in the way people treat him, and Jun Song has beat me down. Seriously, I'm not even gonna. He has beat me down with the way that he loves Song Ho. And I can't but not root for him at this point. But we'll get there, we'll get there. I rush. Anywho, Junsong eventually leaves. Sonu and Hyungjin, they go skating. And it was a little bit awkward because Sonu doesn't know how to skate. He did very well for somebody who doesn't know how to skate. But it was tense, and he was tense because he was scared of falling, slipping. I don't know. It was just a very awkward date. And they only have some fun. They do races, but it wasn't. I don't think it was Sonu's speed at all. He was not feeling that vibe at all. Hyungjin, on the other hand, was very attentive, which is what I liked about the entire situation. He was very attentive to Sonu. He would hold Sonu, take care of him. He was very attentive and very caring towards Sonu, and I liked that aspect of the date. They then go to a cafe to grab food and talk, and at this point, I couldn't tell if they were interested in each other or not. Definitely, Sonu wasn't, I don't think, but I couldn't really tell from Hyunjin's side either. I wasn't sure if he was just, a sociable person, if he was just going along for the ride. Like, I just couldn't tell. Yeonhee and Jungwook leave for their date, and I think Jungwook literally falls in love with this boy on the drive. They haven't even started the date yet, but the conversation and the answers, and I think their lifestyle just meshed so well for Jungwook that he low key started, planning their wedding. He's the one who wants to be married by the end of this thing. So, there's that. They talk more while designing the mugs that they did for each other, and the mugs ended up being really cute. I'm not gonna lie, there were nicknames involved. It was absolutely adorable. While eating, I commented about the forwardness. Like, one thing that I've noticed is that on their dates here with these shows, and I've seen it on multiple LGBTQ shows now that I've watched, because I'm watching one Japanese one and then 2 seasons of His Man. They are way more forward in showing affection. So, like, feeding their dates, taking care of their dates, like, just the displays of affection are a lot quicker on these shows. And honestly, I think I appreciate it because not only are you showing yourself straight out the gate, it's like, yeah, this is what you can expect. I kind of like it, and I comment on that a lot throughout my commentary on my Patreon as well for the full reactions. John Wook says that Yeon Hee is his number one at this point. So obviously they're talking, and by the end of their conversation, that's what John Wook says. Yeon Hee says that John Wook is his number two. He doesn't say who his number one is, but we all know that it is Sonu, because he is head over heels for Sonu at this point. I really don't know what the appeal was. I like Sonu, don't get me wrong. And at this point, I actually really did like him. It kind of wanes and it weaves throughout the season. But I actually really did like him episode 1 and 2. Just because of how, bubbly, excited, and, charismatic that he was. we will break down those things as they pop up and why it wins and it weaves my like for Sun Oh during the season. Min Song and Jun Sub, they have a platonic date. It's a baking date. We're gonna skip through this. The only I think significance of this date was that when they made cookies, they picked out the best ones and they packaged them for somebody special back at home. That was the only significant thing. You can just tell that they're buddy. There's no romance there. There's no affection. There's never gonna be nothing there. After that, they go grocery shopping so that Jungsup could get some noodles for Song Ho because he's always thinking about my baby. He wore me down, guys. He beat me down. I'm not even gonna lie. This man said, "It's me and you until you accept me in this ring." It's crazy. It's crazy to turn around, but we'll get there. Back at home, there was a new guy a lot, and then we get to see Hyung Jun. I thought his name was Hyung Jin at first, and I was like, why would they put two Hyung Jins? How are we gonna differentiate between them? But they clarified, or maybe I just didn't read the subtitles correctly. Later on, that he was Hyung Jun. He comes in and he takes my baby out. He takes Sung Ho out. He says, "Go get ready. We're going on a date." And that's where the episode ends. Honestly, I'm going to say, you're going to hear this a lot throughout these reviews. Season 2 is the best. They're doing it so right. Season 3, I almost gave up on. You guys are the ones that pushed me to keep going. But there's just something about season 2 that just keeps you locked in. It keeps you engaged where you just want to see what happens for each person and each person. Now, in season 3, there's a new person that has come that I actually adore. And so for him alone, I will keep watching the series. But season 2 has my heart any day, anytime. And I can't wait to see how it all ends up. Somebody made a comment about, heartbreaks and the phone booth. And I'm like, what you saying? It's not going to be one of those where nobody is a couple by the end of it, is it? Because I'm thinking that that's where my sibling is going. I just don't even know it anymore. I just watched 14 of that one and my head is still reeling. Oh my God. Oh my freaking lord. You guys are going to get that reaction real soon. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the review. And I'm going to try and make them short so that we can get through the season. But yeah, be sure to do all the right things. Follow on all my socials. Be sure to check out my Patreon. There's some free content on there. The links are all in the description. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.